Hi folks, I hope you can see me. Just give me a comment if you can see me and hear me, if everything works alright, because this is quite an improvised last minute attempt to make a live stream after the Sony A7C II, A7cR and 1635 GM announcement, and I'm using a new software named OBS to make the streaming. So let me know if it works, if somebody is in a can comment and just give me a thumbs up that everything is all right. Matthias, thank you. Like I told you, just to be clear, this is an experimental live stream. For the first time I'm using OBS software to make this live stream, and the attempt is the goal is to discuss the Sony announcement. As expected, we got the A7C II, the A7cR 1635 GM2, and I checked the past hour. I checked a couple of reviews, tried to understand if those cameras would be interesting for me, particularly the A7C II. And yeah, I also read your comments quickly, and the opinions are quite divided. People hate some of the. No, hate is not the right word, but they are disappointed with the pricing for those cameras. Well, the 1635 GM2 definitely is the one product that is less divisive, and I think we can all agree that this is a great lens and a needed update. No matter if you are into this lens or not, that is certainly going to be a nice lens, and the price is quite heavy as usual for Sony, but the lens also seems to deliver a lot, particularly if you consider the size of the lens, which is incredibly compact and lightweight. I still will keep my final opinion reserved until I get my hands on these cameras, just to see how they feel in my hand, because often we forget that cameras are more than just specs. So my intention now is just to read some of your comments in the live chat, see if I can answer you. And before we move on to your questions, it's freaking cold here outside, so I can't be in my house inside because my kids just got a new kitten and they're playing with it, and the kitten is running all the way in the house. I don't want to take them the fun, and so I'm outside on the balcony. The problem is that 2 days ago it was 36 degrees, and now it's like 16 or 15 or 14, I don't know, but there is some snow on the top of the mountain, so it's quite cold, so that's why I have the jacket. Movie Lover wrote, Sony's a joke. This is what I'm reading often now on the comment system of Sony Rumors. People really complain about the pricing of the A7C II and A7cR. I don't have a problem with the specs and the package, and also having the sensor that we know inside the A7C II and the A7cR and so forth. But I do agree that those are quite expensive cameras. If you think about the A7cR, close to $3,000, that's again a level where that only professional or high-end amateurs usually have the money for this. And the A7cR, it's just expensive. You consider that it has only one SD slot, and the EVF is also kind of not really exciting, and so I can understand people complaining about the pricing of the cameras. If the A7C II would be, for example, $799, $1899, I would have sold like pancakes, so like cookies, because that would have been a nice price. But of course it would have killed the A7 IV, killed not, but taken away some of the A7 IV sales. So Sony priced them high so to not cannibalize their existing A7 IV and A7R5 sales. And I think this isn't a winning strategy. I think they should have been more bold with the pricing and cut the price of both cameras for at least a couple of $100. I think this would have made sense for me. Let's see the pricing in the US. Let's see it. As you see, in the US, the 1635 GM2 is priced at $2,298, which is okay for me. It's close to the original pricing of the 1635, so I think that's the product that looks best as of today, except maybe in the Europe, where the pricing is quite higher, 2,699 euros, so it's quite a heavy price tag. The A7cII, like you see, is 2,198. It should have, my opinion, been 1,899 or 1,999 at most, and the A7cR is 2,998. Should have been, for example, 2,499 or 2,599. That would have been quite good. I'm still reading your comments. Why did they make the 1635 too expensive, more expensive? I think, yeah, that's the original 1635 when announced. It was like many years ago, 7-8 years ago. I don't remember. So it makes sense for me that they increased the price. So I have no problem with increased price of the 1635. Let's see, what's the original price of the 1635 now? 1635. It's 2198. The older 1635 gems, so the pricing is okay for me for the new version. I think that's safe to say. Okay. Yeah, after all the shit, now the A9 III, please. Yeah, as you know, I try to be as honest as possible. I'm not a fanboy, so I'm not going to lie to you about some disappointment or the good things of Sony. And the A7cII and the A7cR are, from a pricing point of view, a disappointment, like I told you. For the specs, yeah, it's okay. I can understand the appeal of having a more compact cameras, even if it has one SD slot and micro HDMI. Having a more compact camera is appealing, for example, to me. So I was seriously considering to buy the A7cII. Now I have to think about it. I have to first test it. So my hair is flying away. Sorry. Regarding the A9 III, that's going to be definitely a new kind of camera. So like, which means brand new features, brand new sensor, something you can really get excited about, and where also the pricing seems to be not crazy compared to what you might get. So that's all I can say as of now for the A9 III. If you have any questions regarding the announcement, otherwise I just move through some of the content to see what people are saying about the 1635 GM2 or the A7cII and the A7cR. Let's just see what. Yeah, I would just want to scroll through some of the reviews. Let's see. There are the usual reviews of Gerald Tandon, Betapixel, and so forth. You can check out. I try to make some kind of selection of the most important videos because there are like a zillion of YouTubers having tested the new gear. So here you only see a selection of people that I know, where I think they can give you a fair assessment. Probably the most surprising thing is, I'm just voting now, is the poll. If you look at the poll I posted to sonyoffrumors.com, you will see that 61% of you will not buy pre-order anything of the gear that has been announced today. Then there is like 14% of the voters that would actually pre-order the 1635 GM2, and only 12% will buy either this A7cII or the A7cR, which is kind of low. I wasn't expecting big sales on those cameras, nor on the 1635 GM2, but still it's low. Then of course those percentages would change over time when people can have the chance to play with the real gear in their hand, and also take away the emotion of the moment, and then maybe they realize that actually often things work better than they seem at first. So but still, it's interesting to see that only few of the Sony of Rumors readers will actually buy some of the one or two of those products today. Some questions from you. I want to let's hope brand new ergonomics like A992 for the A9 III. I would be a big fan of Sony making the Sony A9 II, Sony an E-mount camera with the A9 II body. Let's see just if I can show you what I mean with it, like this one. I still believe the A9 II was one of the best designed Sony cameras, and I think it would be nice to just have an option to have a bigger camera for the A-mount system. So just give us the same specs, for example the A7 or the A7 R5 with that bigger body with the same exact specs, but as an option for guys that want to have a bigger camera in their hands would be nice. So I would also love the A9 III to have or the A9 II body, or just have two options available, but I don't think this is going to happen. Sasha Wolf, yeah, thanks a lot for your work. Thank you. It was quite a stress. As you know, I had 10 days of guests from Belgium here, so I had to hike, mountain bike, and do a lot, and do all the rumor work in between. Wasn't easy, but I managed to do it, and now I think I will have not really a pause, because there will be an announcement from third-party manufacturers now in the beginning of September, but at least I think till October, November we might till October I can have small pauses before the Sony A9 III announcement, if it's going to happen September, November. Still don't have a final confirmation. All I got in the meantime is the 100% confirmation that it's coming within the next couple of months. That is 100% solid info. Are there any updates on the Sony A1? No, none. No info yet. I think our best chance is to get the A1 probably end of 2024, but that's just a guess of mine. But seeing that the A9 III is definitely coming soon, I think they will first try to sell this camera for sports photographers. Also thinking about the Olympics 2024, the A9 III will be the main camera that Sony wants to use. Sorry, I forgot to switch on the webcam again. So I still have to learn the software. So sometimes remind me if I'm doing some mistakes or something is odd. Just write me, then I will correct. The A9 III official announcement is here. That's what I'm trying to figure out. All I got is that 100% super confirmed info that it's ready. Let's say this. I cannot share you the proof why. That's something I promised to my sources, so multiple sources, to not share it now. But I got the proof about the A9 III that it's coming soon. If I think they will refresh the 24 and 105mm G lens, I heard something about it, but nothing solid as of yet. Can they fix the 4K 60p crop with firmware update? Sony is lazy with firmware updates. I don't think they will ever give you uncropped 4K 60p via firmware updates. Sorry to say. I just lost a bit of hope. I will try to keep pushing through Sony of Rumors so that Sony will be more consistent, more bold on their firmware update strategy. I will try to do it again, probably in a future post. but so far they seem to not have reacted. Maybe there will be in September, October some kind of firmware updates for some of the cameras, but don't expect anything bold. I hope to be wrong. That would be nice. What's the next lens for Sony? Definitely 300mm GM is coming pretty soon, so this for sure. I hope the 85mm 1.2 GM. The 1635 GM2, the first rumored announcement period was March, April of this year. I don't know, that was coming from a solid source, but then the lens got somehow delayed, it seems like, if the rumors are true. So I hope the same will happen for the 85 1.2, that indeed it is coming in autumn and not in summer as I was hoping from the rumors. So maybe there was some kind of delay in the lens roadmap of Sony. So I think definitely 300mm GM, hopefully also the 85 1.2 GM. Any surprise cameras in 2024? Yep. Okay, you are getting this first in this live stream, this very, how do you say, non-professional live stream, but I got for the first time a hint about a surprising model, which means a model that we don't expect, or we didn't expect to see coming. And I also had to talk a couple of times to that source to be sure that I understood it right, that there is indeed a different kind of camera coming, and I would be happy if they do it. So the Sony A7 III likely coming out, still no confirmation. I think also it would be time to update the A7S series, so I think this is also going to happen 2024, while the Sony A1, my best guess is at earliest end of 2024. Probably 2025 even. Then there would be also the third surprise camera, which is kind of something I would really love to be true. And I'm going to write this rumor, I think, in a couple of 2-3 weeks time. First I'm going to have a small break with my family, and then going back to real rumor work about this new surprise camera in the A7 III. They need more compact lens, yes. True. I have no information as of yet for the continuation of the RX line. A couple of months ago I shared my official opinion about the RX line. I think Sony should use it to test new tech, like they actually did at the very beginning. So for example, they could make a RX with curved sensor and an RX with medium format sensor, a RX that could be, you have a black and white sensor, and just trying to be very creative and bold to see how sales go with certain very experimental RX cameras, and then if the concept works out, also make an E-mount version of such a concept. That would be nice. Yeah, let's see again some of the videos. Size comparison. I posted a size comparison between the new 1635 GM and the older lens, and you can really see that Sony made much lighter and more compact lens. I actually think that Sony really is killing it when it comes to the lens design. The lenses are exceptionally good, very compact if you consider what they can perform. So I think they still have the edge here over Canon and Nikon. Canon, for example, still has the edge when it comes to some creative offering, like the 2.0 zoom range. And I know from patents, from Sony patents, that Sony has patented some of those 2.0 zoom lens too, so maybe the day will come they will make those kind of very unique big fast zooms too, but otherwise I think that where Sony really shines is in the lens design as of yet compared to the competition, while on the camera front they definitely got a serious competition from Panasonic, Canon, and Nikon. They all make great cameras, so but that's good news for us, no? If the A7C II, A7cR will not sell in big numbers, then Sony will have to start reacting, and I hope they will realize they cannot just sit back and wait out a storm of that's coming from the competition. I hope they will react. When is the next Sony conference? I still don't have a final confirmation, but usually November is like October, November are the 2 months where Sony historically nearly always announce new full-frame cameras. So that will be a perfect timing. Also considering that they want to be ready for the Olympics next year, so they need to announce the camera well ahead of it. So at least 5-6 months ahead, because then, you know, there's the pre-order, and then they ship 1.5-2 months after. Then people they need the time to test the camera. So I think it would be very wise for them to announce the A9 III in October or November, but I still don't have a final confirmation about that. One of my very trusted sources told me actually that the announcement time frame that Sony has chosen is November-January. So November 23, January 24, and I'm sure the source is telling me the truth. So I think that's the range we can expect the A9 III announcement. I hope it's November. What phone do I use? An iPhone. I actually don't care about phones, smartphones, but I'm using an iPhone because I'm used to all the Mac app ecosystem, so I'm lazy as hell when it comes to smartphones. I don't want to learn new stuff, so I'm one of the few still not really using iPhones or smartphones for photography. I can still see a difference in terms of quality when shooting with a camera compared to a smartphone. So I think all that hype about smartphone killing professional photography or cameras is totally overrated, at least in my experience. That's my opinion. Do you have any questions about today's cameras? Other opinions to share? Don't know if there is something that you really want to know. Let's see, I'm still checking out. Okay, nothing. Okay, that was only a quick and dirty live stream about the new gear. I shared my quick opinion. Like I said at the very beginning, for me as a professional photographer, because I'm living from photography since 20 years, although I started as a video documentarist, I know the value of actually using the gear and holding it in their hands, and sometimes some of the small parts, text plus feeling and real world testing makes the camera more bigger or more interesting or less interesting than it sounds on the specs. So a camera that, for example, over delivered than the specs promised was the A7R5 that I actually own. I think as a whole the camera is much better than you think from the specs. The whole experience is really much improved compared to the A7R4, although the specs didn't change that much. For me the difference in using it is much more. So that's something that many YouTubers and or just reading a spec list, you will not get this from the YouTubers or reviewers. So always try to test the camera or lens, and sometimes you will discover really some potential that you didn't notice. For example, when it comes to lenses, the Tamron 28-200mm is really an incredible killer lens for hiking for me, for hiking photography, mountain photography. Super lens. And another lens that I think I already told you is the 40mm 1.2 from Voigtlander, a lens that definitely opened a new kind of photography at least for my kind of style. So yeah, that's so don't be too negative when it comes to A7cII, A7cR until you didn't have the chance to test those cameras, and then maybe you'll be positively surprised that they actually do more than you expected. Which camera would you buy? I think I told you that the A7R5, in my opinion, and the A7 IV currently Sony's best camera. I wouldn't buy the A1 or the A7S series cameras unless you really need it. I would, if you need video, I would probably buy the FX3 or the FX30. I think the FX lineup for Sony is super strong. I also think the ZV-E1 is actually a winner. A vlogger camera. I'm not a vlogger, but I think this is for vloggers a real nice camera. And yeah, okay, I'm going to end this now. This was really a quick and dirt testing of my new software for live streaming, something that I want to improve in time. I want to do more live stream to be more connected with you, also to give you my hot takes and first impression on what on the rumors and the announcement from Sony, but also from other manufacturers. So I thank you all for your questions, for being here. And now it's really getting super windy and super cold, so I'm going inside and also play with the kitten like the kids are doing right now. So see you soon, folks. Ciao.